Good morning. It's Michelle Allen of A Sharp Photo, the one and only plus size certified photographer in the universe. Really quickly, I want to talk with you about some things that I use for photography that have absolutely nothing to do with photography. All right. One, the first, probably, I don't know, in some ways, one of the most important tools that I use in my job is a model release app. Okay, so I do a lot of stock imagery, specifically on my website, umbrellastock.com. Go check it out. And when you do photography of things, or maybe places, it doesn't matter as much. But when you photograph people, it's best to have a release. Just for legal reasons, if something were to come back later, you want to be able to be like, hey, I had permission from this person to use their image for whatever purpose I wanted, right? Normally, when people, especially when I know when I started, I knew I needed a model release. So what I did was I found something that I could print, and then that's what I would take to, a photo shoot. Hey, can you sign this for me? They would sign it. I would sign it. I'd get home. I'd scan it, you know, and then there was that. But what happens if you forget to scan it? Or what happens if you forget to bring the papers or you run out of the papers you thought you had it? Like, right? So I use an app, and there's tons of them, but I like Easy Release because it has Easy is the app that I use. And what you get with it is, first of all the legal information is right there in the app, right? And I've used other stock photography sites as well, and they take it and they have no problem with it, which means it has all the information that's needed. So you got all the legal information. It has the information where you shot the site. You can title it. You can get the person's name and all of their contact information. And one thing I think that's really cool about this app is it has them take an ID image. So you got the model release, but then there's a picture of the person on the model release, which it's like, hey, not only did you sign and say that it's cool to use your image, but you took a picture so we know this is you, and we know that you did it on this day because there's an image of you. So if you're going to be using images of people, it's great to have something like this because it knocks things out. Number two, and this is, I would say this is more for wedding photographers, but pretty much any photographer is going to be on their feet for at least 2 or 3 hours, right? So insoles for your shoes, very important. And you don't think about it until you shoot and then you sit down and your feet say, thank you for sitting down. But you can give yourself a lot more life if you wear insoles because you're on your feet a lot. And I think what's for me, because I enjoy photography so much, when I'm doing it, I really don't any kind of discomfort or anything like that. I don't take it in. So it's really easy to abuse your body because you enjoy what you're doing. So you end up, just walking around and standing, and even what's interesting, and I don't know, I think I just realized this maybe a couple months ago. We think about fatigue and strain as only a physical thing, but when you're mentally focused, which is what you tend to be when you do photography, mental focus is just as tiring on the body as physical work. So you're mentally focused, you're standing still. If you're doing it right, you're holding your breath, you're doing all these physical things in tandem with the mental work that you're doing, and it just without you knowing it. That's the trick. So get you, I mean, even cheaper insoles are great. Take whatever the crap is inside of your shoe out and put something in there. But if you are especially if you're a wedding photographer, spend good money. Spend 80 to $100 on some decent insoles, and that will give you a little bit more life in your profession. Insoles not only help your feet, they help your back too. So yeah. The last thing, oh man, give me a second. Let me see if I got that here. All right. This isn't the one I use, but I do have one. The last thing that is probably the most important thing that I use is this. It's a hair tie. All right. You see all of this? All right. A couple things happen with me. One, depending on how I move, it does this. And then it gets on my glasses and it makes them all greasy and I can't see. And that's annoying. The other thing, if I'm shooting down and I have to look down, when I look down, my hair comes into my field of view, and it's in the shot, So this, I don't think I ever really do a shoot without tying my hair back, So this saves my life a lot and just keeps me from being frustrated and annoyed. And push comes to shove. If I forget it and I don't have it, I can use my hair to tie my hair back, right? But yeah, honestly, this is out of all the things I use. If I don't have this, it drives me crazy. And because, photography is a work of the mind, if the mind is frustrated, then you can't get your work done. Those are my non-photo photography items that are paramount to get the work done. All right, stay sharp.